Okay.
So
this is great. This is my first Kickstarter update.
Yeah. Well, this is our, I have to set the scene, our September 1st update. So this is the first technically like post-campaign like fulfillment update. There will be monthly ones moving forward until we start the actual fulfillment, which is, I believe, slated for May. There is probably, though, going to be an interim one, which I'll get to at the end, since we have a bunch of ongoing stuff that they're going to need to know about in the next week or two. But for now, let's jump right in and see what's going on. First couple things to talk about. One thing I wanted to mention.
Yep.
If you guys need to change your shipping address, which you might over the course of the next few months, some number of you are going to be moving. If you know you're going to be moving and you have a date when you can receive mail at your new place, just shoot us an email at sales@wyrmwoodgaming.com or send us a Kickstarter message either way. And we can go into your order and change that address after you finalize. Because once you finalize it on the website, you'll enter your shipping address there and it's locked. But we can always change it. Just reach out and let us know as soon as you know so we can make sure your stuff gets to you when the time comes. So with that out of the way, how's things looking? With samples, production, like a lot to talk about, I guess. You've been...
Good, yeah. Where do you want me to start?
I guess, in terms of samples, I think that's so we can start with some fun stuff.
Yeah.
We did get some samples in.
So yeah, we got these. I'll say you have the...
Yeah, I screwed up. Yeah. Well, I didn't know they were the only one. Yeah.
These are not foiled. The ones that you have are foiled. So next update, we can bring those out. But the foils, I mean, we looked at them on Worm Life. We actually have, Ed did a much better job at this than I would have, where we had Gates, who has extensively handled the Cardamoody decks because he was one of the... he was one of the dealers for our poker tournament. We were like, all right, which one is Cardamoody, which one isn't? And both were Cardamoody, and he was convinced that the first one was not.
Right. I was like, this is the Cardamoody deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, so these are obviously, this card is from Stockholm, or this deck of cards is from Stockholm 17. Mm-hmm. Omar has worked with artists and this brand before. They're all in the business of high quality playing cards. Yep. And what Omar, like the reason why we brought Omar on was specifically for the card quality. Mm-hmm. While we are in this world, he's the one who's concerned about like, how do they shuffle? How do they riffle? How do they do all the things that he's just like, I spent a couple minutes Pharaoh shuffling these. And I'm like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Just getting into the noodly details that we wouldn't have thought to. And these are... this is a deck of cards from WJPCC, which is our new supplier that we're getting samples from currently. And he got this deck. He absolutely loved it. He said that the quality was amazing. They shuffle great. Not that I don't really know what I'm doing, but it feels very, very... I mean, as far as they handle, I can't tell a difference.
No, yeah. I mean, yeah, I checked them out. I have the foiled one. Yeah, they look beautiful. They feel really nice. I could not really discern any difference. It's always like, oh, okay, well, it's a step down, but great. No, it's just an excellent quality deck.
They are great. If you really, really wanted to get into it and you did this with both, maybe you could feel some sort of slight difference, but they are different cards from a different manufacturer.
Right.
But as far as quality goes, if Omar is happy with it, like Omar, the reason I brought Omar into this project is because of how specific and how passionate he is about the quality of cards. Because Omar is not just someone who does this. I've been to Omar's house. He literally has tens of thousands of dollars worth of decks, and he cares so much because he's a poker player, he's a card enthusiast, and if he is happy, I'm very convinced that everybody else who are going to get these cards are also going to be very happy. So yeah, everyone not only really liked this, but I don't know what it is, but they also they love
the frog. Right, yeah.
The frog is really great. So I don't know what it is about frogs and weaving their way into card designs. I have no idea. The notorious gambling frog, which is pretty fun. But But yeah, so in terms of, and I also wanted to, I don't know if you want to keep this, but I saw a lot of comments that are just like, oh, well, you know, $30 is obviously a premium price for a deck of cards. And everyone's like, well, like, since this isn't coming from Cartamundi, you know, is that price point still accurate, right? And just so everyone is aware, this deck was not $30 because it came from Cartamundi. It's $30 because Dan Greta did an amazing job and spent countless hours both illustrating and designing the deck. And it's coming from us, where we have our guarantee and we put a lot into this.
And Holar spent all this time consulting on it. Yeah, that's the work of this project, and that's what the tag is. You know, it's not about...
Yeah. When we had our tarot deck, which was made in China, that everybody was extremely happy with, that was $100 deck.
Yeah.
The reason why it was $100 is because of all of the work that the artists put into it, all the work that Stephanie put into it. And everyone was very, very, as far as I know, everyone was very happy with that deck, and it was coming from the same exact area. So the price is not a reflection on where it's printed. The price is a reflection of how much work went into it and the quality of not only the cards, but the art itself.
Yeah, and the packaging too, which is a part of every single one.
Which has not changed.
That's the same.
We are still, the packaging, which I would argue is actually the most jaw-dropping portion, whether it's the actual inner tuck or that outer sleeve. That is still coming from Studio Pression in France, and now they are just working with WJPCC as opposed to Cartamundi.
No, that's a valid point, because that is something that a lot of people don't understand. It's easy to miss, right? You assume a thing is the cost of the stuff in it, but there's all the design, there's all the art, there's all everything, all the intangibles. So in terms of production timelines and stuff like that. So have we actually submitted an order yet?
So to be honest, we haven't. As you can imagine, we are so completely transitioning from one manufacturer who kind of understood not only our project because they made the decks, but all of Omar's past projects as well. So not only did they, but Omar also understood they were on the same page for everything. He pretty much likes the same thing in all of his projects. Going over here, there's a lot of details to cover in terms of the color, the foil treatment, the different editions of the deck, and then obviously also working with our tuck case company. And we have not only been creating a lot of scope document spreadsheets so that they know everything perfectly, we've also had Jarre helping us a lot. And she, just to make sure that they don't, because they speak English, of course. But Jarre has been going in and also translating everything to Chinese so that no details are getting lost. So she's been a great help. But we had a call with them. It went very, very well. We have another call scheduled, and we want those samples where they're giving us a less than 2 week turnaround time. Which is very fast. That is going to be ordered, and if everything looks good, which I imagine it is because we're really dotting our I's and crossing our T's, then we will put in the order. The timeline they are giving us, it's much, much quicker than what Cartamundi's was. I don't think our project is a little bit more hands-on because there's a lot of details, so I don't think it will be quite 2 months. However, it will be much quicker than Cartamundi. And now the tuck cases are now it's the slowest comparatively, but it's still
ahead of
much. It is much better. So, I don't want to promise anything, of course, but the reason why we are really taking our time to make sure that our new supplier understands everything is because we are not up against it.
We actually have that time, so we're devoting that to make sure it goes right. But ideally we can get a little ahead of things, but that's down the road. We did set the timeline based on Cartamundi's schedule, which we've talked about before. So with that removed, there's a reason to be optimistic about the fulfillment, but we'll get more into that later on.
Of course, barring issues, like we are looking very, very good, and I can't foresee anything There's nothing glaring that's sticking out to me.
Yeah, and that goes for, I think, our production numbers too. If anything, the cabinets were probably a bit more popular than we anticipated.
Yes. And the deck displays were less popular than
we would have switched those. We assumed that the less expensive one would be more popular, but you guys like premium stuff, which is great. But I don't think it's outside the range of, we promised it, I think, for May, like everything else, we were going to start delivering in. So I don't think there's any real concerns there.
When I spoke to Ian about it, he was, especially at the volume we need to create, which is not much.
Right.
I was like, well, Cardamundi's anticipating 6 months, so I'm putting this for May. And he goes, oh yeah, sure.
Right. Yeah,
so when we're moving this up, I think it's reasonable to assume that our production won't be a bottleneck for us.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on it, of course, and keep you posted. But yeah, we don't have any concerns at this point. So I saw some questions about the prismatic deck. Which was, it's significantly more than the luxury one.
Right. Yeah.
So, what was some of the reasoning there, I guess. And the other thing, just like what makes it special and sets it apart, and how are we going to, somebody had a great question, which we'll deal with. I think I know the answer, but how we're going to ensure it's limited to the pledge manager. And I wanted to take a minute and talk about the pledge manager overall and how that experience is going to look like.
Sure.
When they get there. But yeah, just in terms of the prismatic. So do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, the prismatic edition was Omar's idea. Omar, in his own campaigns and his favorite playing card campaigns, they say they always do some sort of ultra premium version that's highly limited. And working with not only our tuck case supplier, but Carnegie at the time, I think the foil was new to the tuck case supplier. And they were like, well, look at how damn good this looks. And the Omar was like, wouldn't this be really great if we had a super highly limited edition of the deck that went along kind of with the prismatic dice.
Right.
Kind of had that kind of light, refracting rainbow kind of aesthetic, because it isn't just silver. It has all those different colors depending on how the light hits it, which is very, very cool. And yeah, he's like, I would want, this is something I'm adding because I would buy it. Right. Yeah. So obviously we had a very limited number of that. We are going to be, I think in the amount people were able to add on was 500. We are printing 600, just to be clear about that. So when you guys, because most of them, if not all of them, sold.
I think there might have been a handful left, but
yeah. So when you get them, they will be individually numbered. It will be out of 600. The reason why is because people who got the cabinets fully loaded, which we have over 50, they got those. People who got the Prophecy gaming table, they're also receiving one. And then some extras just to ensure that if someone has a problem, it gets damaged in transit, we have something that we can actually send them and they could be happy. So it is going to be out of 600. And then the price point is, the materials are the same. The quality is replete throughout the decks. And it's just the limiting factor. Now, I know some people were like, man, this is really expensive. And it is. This price point actually wasn't set by me or us. It was Omar. He goes, look, we have a very premium deck. And if we're going to offer only 500 of these, this is the price point. And then I also, because then this is what I want, because I love art, I was like, then we should do like at least 25 that are signed by Dan Greta. And obviously, Dan Greta's signature is certainly worth something, because he knocked it out of the park with this project. But any concerns moving over, the hollow foil technology exists. The same material exists in this supplier than it did in Cardamundi.
Great.
And when we get our samples within the next couple of weeks, the prismatic edition will be part of that. So we will get to see it.
Excited.
Which is really cool, actually. And maybe we can make this something exclusive for the backers first. So to ensure that it's the most cost effective, because obviously when we're getting a very limited run of something, it's much more expensive than when we're printing thousands of them. We're getting, each deck is going to be a quarter red, a quarter blue, a quarter luxury, a quarter hollow foil. So once we get those, we're getting 100 of them because that's their minimum.
Wow.
That's their minimum.
That's a lot, yeah.
It is a lot. So we can sell them as prototype decks, and there are only going to be 100 in the world that exist where the deck is a quarter of each thing which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So totally useless from a gaming perspective, great from a collector perspective.
Yeah, exactly. So like for example, I'm going to keep one because I just think that's so cool. And you know, Omar wants one as well. But yeah, maybe if we want, we can open it up to the backers first if people are interested in that. And then if not, we can, you know, open it up to something.
Sure, yeah, we'll do something with it. But
and just so people do know, if they missed the update in the campaign, so when we first had the Prismatic Edition roll out, we had people could add on 1, and we upped it to 3 once the rush was.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure as many people as possible could get in on it, just in case they all went instantly, you know, and then when there were some left over.
So if you're one of those people who wants to keep one sealed and open one, they're probably still just a couple left, and you can add multiple if you haven't.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. I think that was most of what I had to go over. One thing we talked about doing, you know, and I wanted to touch on this in terms of the finalization process and stuff like that. I don't want to get too bogged down in it right now, but it's going to be pretty straightforward. You will go to our website. You'll be able to log in there and have access to your pledge credit. And, you know, this will be covered once it's ready down the line in a more thorough fashion, you know, where I think I'm going to try to include a video about that. We were talking about that earlier today. That's just a quick little walkthrough of here's what to expect. Here's how you get through it.
Yeah.
But really easy. It's just going to be checking out on our website. When you get there, all of your pledge items should be in your cart, you know, pre-populated. That's our goal that we're working through right now. And getting that set up for you. So it should just be as simple as you can look at everything and confirm it and just sort of walk right through, confirm your shipping, you know, pay for any balance there and check out and you're done in a few minutes, or you can go through and add more stuff. Yeah. You know, if you decide, hey, I actually do want one of these extras, and if we do have any prismatic left, those will be available there. So you can, you know, that is going to be time sensitive, of course. So if you do want to add another one of those that you didn't, you know, you'll want to jump on it once we open up the surveys. But an update will go out letting you know the exact time that's going to happen. So yeah, that's not going to catch you by surprise. The next full update is October 1st. And that'll be the fulfillment check-in. But like I said, you know, the surveys are going to be opening up and stuff, so you can get to the website and finalize. So you'll get updates keeping you apprised of all that beforehand. So you can expect to hear from us a few times before October 1st.
And, you know, Worm Life, it's fast acting. We're posting something every day, but updates that may not be formal updates could pop up there. I know the footage that we talked about where we checked out the decks with Gates and you and me, that will certainly be included in Worm Life within the next week or so. So, you know, while it is an informal update, keeping up with that will also give you some insights as well. So the footage will be up soon for everybody to check out.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably just link to the channel in the little write up there, so you can subscribe if you haven't and check stuff out there if you're interested. But
sounds good.
All right, that's about it. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for being here, Bobby. I will probably there's probably going to be solo ones for me moving forward.
Sure. Well, I'd love to
want to do it.
This is
you're
fun.
welcome.
This is fun. I like this format. It's like a Wyrmwood podcast.
Yeah. No, I mean, I will rope you into it if you want. I mean, honestly, it's way easier to edit for me. I like that. Yeah. The ones that are just me, it's horrible. I have to just stare at myself and edit out every like, are you breathing that way?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Oh, I get it. I edit myself frequently.
So
I'm like, why are you so stupid?
Right.
Everything you do.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, obviously, if I have anything that I can offer, feel free to include me. Omar and I talk almost daily about everything.
Cool.
So yeah.
Sounds good. Well,
it's fine.
Thanks, everybody. And yeah, you'll hear from us soon.